Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another video featuring a Fenty product. This makes me so excited. So, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I had purchased the new Fenty Sun Stalk'r bronzer. I picked it up the day it launched, and the caption had something to the effect of, "Can I say this is already my favorite bronzer without having even tried it?" Typically, I already know I'm going to love a Fenty product. I mean, just because it is rare. And when I say rare, it's rare. That I don't love a Fenty product, that it doesn't work amazingly for me. So I already knew, went in knowing I was gonna love this, well, hoped I was gonna love it. Anyways, so I have been using this, and guys, I have some thoughts for you. Not only that, I wanna compare this one to a whole stack of other bronzers that have been kind of my tried and true over the years that I really have been enjoying lately, just in general, so that you know, how this compares to other bronzers. You might say, well, a bronzer's a bronzer. Why do I need a different one? But let's go ahead and do like a little bit of a showdown. Let's talk through each bronzer and see which one is right for you so that you know if you need to go out and buy this new bronzer by Fenty Beauty. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this, shall we? So I'm going to start you off with a couple of pieces of information. First off, I am a light to light medium skin tone. I went in thinking I was going to get the shade Private Island. While it is a beautiful shade and I may pick it up down the road, like as we get into the summer and my skin warms up a little bit, the shade that worked best for me, or that I knew was going to work best for me, is Shady Biz, and it's actually the light shade with warm undertones. The Private Island shade had a little bit more red than I would have wanted, and it was a little deeper. So like I said, once my skin warms up a little bit, I think that one will work out fine. But for now, Shady Biz is where it's at. It is a $30 bronzer. You do get, let's see, 6.23 grams of product, or 0.22 ounces. Let's see, it's made in the USA, and the Sephora site says it's a long wear, transfer resistant bronzing powder in 8 groundbreaking shades, each carefully curated to bring all skin tones to life. This bronzer comes in 8 versatile shades, which you guys know Rihanna is queen for really putting out these different products, foundation, concealer, powders, now bronzers, that will suit each skin type, or skin tone, I'm sorry. It's like she's gearing products towards each skin tone so that no skin tone is left out, and I think that is awesome. I also think it's awesome that she classifies things as to what shade tone you are, so that you don't have to, like, it takes the guesswork out of all of this. She did that with the concealer. If your foundation shade is this, then this is your concealer shade. It was perfect. She did the same thing with the powder, and I mean, she knows how to do it right. Let's see, smooth, creamy, and easy to blend. This light as air bronzer gives you a sun-soaked glow that stays put all day. Whether you're looking for warmth or contouring, it does it all with the perfect soft matte finish. So it says, first off, let's just go ahead and go into the claims. This isn't going to be a review. This is more going to be like a showdown, or a comparison from this bronzer to other bronzers that I think are the more popular ones. But first off, I will just tell you that, yes, I love this bronzer. I knew I was going to, and when I loved it by actually using it, because I already know I can't come to you guys and say I love something if I haven't really used it. So having used it, I do love it. I knew I would. It's actually what I'm wearing on my face today, amid some little sparkle going on my face. If you see that going on, I was feeling a little bit of like a festival vibe today, even though I don't go really to festivals, so I was just feeling the look. Anyways, so it is what I am wearing on my lids, on my face today, and yes, it absolutely is perfection at warming up your skin. It's a matte finish, so we'll go into that here in a second. I will give you swatches. I want to take you into the claims as far as it being transfer resistant. I mean, I don't know that I would know that, as far as, you know, unless I'm rubbing my face up against something, which I don't typically do. But as far as it fading throughout the day, it doesn't. But then again, I don't know that I've had that issue with other bronzers, so it's harder for me to say, yes, that claim is true or not. It absolutely gives you the warmth you need. It's easy to blend. It's easy to put on. I go in with a semi-light hand, but even if I go in with a firmer hand, it's not like it's too much. It's easy to blend out. It just gives that perfect glow. So this is the box it comes in. Nothing new from your normal Fenty packaging. The back of the box says Instant Sun-Soaked Glow That Lasts. It's blendable, buildable, and transfer resistant. Again, can't tell you for sure on the transfer resistant. As far as the blendable and buildable, absolutely. I love that the package is the same as her kilowatts. What else has she come out in these? Is that it? Just the kilowatts? Anyways, but it's gold. The outer packaging is gold, or it's kind of like a bronze type of finish. I love it because it kind of gives the distinction of, okay, here's the bronzer. Let me take this out of my collection, as opposed to the others that have the white cover. So you open the packaging up, and this is not going to be anything new to you guys as far as like how it looks or anything. It's just a pan of bronzer in here as opposed to a kilowatt. And again, I picked up the shade Shady Biz. So I am, for reference, in the Fenty foundation, I am shade, well, it used to be 190, it's 185 now. It's the light medium with neutral undertones, and this shade is working perfectly for me at the moment. Again, maybe down the road I'll need to pick up Private Island, but again, I'm not really one for reddish undertones in my bronzer, so I try to not pick up those types. But one of my Hourglass bronzers has that reddish undertone, and it works fine for me in the summer months. So here is what this bad boy looks like. It is very smooth looking, very soft looking, and let me give you a swatch so that you can see what it looks like. So here you go. Obviously, again, because of my skin tone, this is going to look a little bit lighter, but here it is. It is, again, perfect for what I've got going on as my skin tone right now. I don't self-tan or anything like that. So again, this is just my skin tone, and this works perfectly. Let me grab my stack of bronzers. We're going to start to compare these guys. So I've got a stack of bronzers here that I use quite frequently. There is one out of this stack that is my preferred that I think y'all will be able to guess, you know, based on previous videos, which one of these is my favorite of the moment. It has been for a little bit. Here's the stack of bronzers. We've got a lot going on here. Most recently is the Natural Lust bronzer by Too Faced. We're going to compare also to the L'Oreal True Match Lumi, because it's a great bronzer, and for the price tag, because it's drugstore, hey, we're gonna throw it in and compare. We've got the It Bye Bye Pores bronzer. We've got the Kylie bronzer in the shade Toasty. Let's see, we've got the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. Again, another great drugstore option, but we're gonna put this to the test as well. And then we've got one of the Hourglass bronzers. This one is in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. So we've got plenty to work with here. I'm gonna leave the swatch on my hand because we're gonna start swatching these so that you can see the comparison. I wanna go over the finishes of these with you so that if you have a preference, if you prefer matte, you will exactly know which one of these are mattes and which ones, you know, are not, so that you know which one to go pick up if you need one at the moment. So I think we're going to go ahead and start with the drugstore option. So let's start with the L'Oreal. So this particular one, obviously it's Lumi, so it's going to have a sheen. If you are not into that, then this one isn't for you. This one is a strictly matte bronzer. It's in the description. In using it, there is absolutely no sheen, no shimmer in this bronzer. So this one does have a sheen to it, and it is very, very lovely. I do love this bronzer. Here you go. Now the Fenty is described as a light with warm undertones, and so while it's not like a true reddish bronzer, it's gonna have a little bit of terracotta in it, though not quite as much. And this one right here is going to be more of a neutral type of bronzer. Like the only thing I can think of to tell you is that it's a little more brown. I don't know if that's even the right way to put it. But anyways, so there's your comparison. This one, obviously, you can tell the tone is more of a brown tone, and it does have a sheen to it. So there you go on my skin tone. This one is around $9 or $10, so it's great if you love that type of bronzer. As far as the buildup and everything, I never have issues with this one. I will tell you that the Fenty one goes on uber smooth, uber easy. There is something about the Fenty that I would choose it over this one. I mean, again, there's nothing uber dramatic about it to where, oh, this one goes on patchy. No, nothing like that. It's just that the Fenty one goes on very, very smooth as it claims. As far as the Milani Silky Matte, mine is in the shade 01. Now I will tell you about this one that it is very light. The 1 is almost too light and the 2 is almost too deep. So I kind of need one like in the middle. So I find that I very much have to build this one up. Now this is a matte, so if you are into matte bronzers, this is a great option for drugstore. It's just that for me, it takes quite a lot of building, even using a dense brush. Here is what it looks like right there. And I'm going to show you, I just swatched it on my hand, and it's the third one right here. So can you see the difference of those two? Very, very, very different. I mean, this one, like I'm telling you, I have to build it up quite a bit. You can hardly even see it on my skin. And so that one, for that reason, if you are in my skin tone range, then obviously I would choose Fenty. The Milani is great. Again, there's not a whole lot of shade ranges. With this one, you can really drill down to your shade range, at least very close to it. And so with this one, there's 3 shades. With this one, there's about 8. And so you're less likely to find a really good match for yourself with the Milani. So it's just, I mean, if you can match yourself to one of those 3, then that's great. But just know that that is also, you know, an issue. With the L'Oreal Lumi, I think they also have about 3 different shades. That particular one is in light, and that one suits me fine. It shows up quite well. Next up, let's go ahead and go into the It Bye Bye Pores bronzer. It's in the shade Beach, but I think it's the only shade they have. When I purchased this one, I didn't see that there were other shades to choose from. So this is what this bad boy looks like. Now, I know a lot of people were saying that the claims on this one, like it just makes their skin look super smooth and kind of airbrushed. I never had that experience. To me, it was just a typical bronzer. I never had the experience of it looking like bye-bye pores kind of thing. So this particular one, when you sweep your finger over it, it's not as soft. It's a tiny bit more gritty. I don't even know if that's the way to say it because obviously it's a powder. This one's going to be like the L'Oreal Lumi. It does have quite the sheen. And this one, I also find that I have to build up quite a bit. Even if I'm using a stiff brush, something about it, I do have to build it up. It is very pretty once you can get it built up, but it does take building up for sure. That's what it looks like right there, and that's me going in with a very hard swatch. And so you can obviously tell this one versus this one was, they're all one swipe swatches, but this one has a sheen. And again, I go in with that one with a very dense brush, so I have to go in with like a firm, I press down pretty hard. And so honestly, if I had to choose between these two, you guys know I'm gonna choose this one. This one is also, I think, $30. So for the price point, you want to pay for one that you're gonna like have easy application, that's gonna build up quick and easy, and that's going to be like geared to your skin tone. Like I said, I think this is the only tone that this comes in. So there's really not a whole lot of options for my ladies with deeper skin tones. And then again, I am a light to light medium, and I do have to build this one up. And again, this one does have a sheen, so if you are an all matte type of girl, this one's definitely not for you. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and go into the newest bronzer that I picked up prior to the Fenty, and it's the Too Faced Natural Lust. Now, I told y'all in this review that this one I didn't think would be suited to my deeper skin tone ladies, because this one on me, I struggle with getting it to show up on my skin. Not that I struggle, but I do have to build it up, and it is not, like, I don't have to worry about going heavy-handed, let's just say that. I've had several people comment on that video saying they either love this bronzer or that I just need to use a denser brush. I've used denser brushes on this. Trust me, when I test these things out for you guys, I'm trying to go all the way. And so maybe it's just that I have a dud. It could be. That has been known to happen. But even with going in with a dense brush, I still have to work at building this up. I know people have said theirs smells like coconut. Mine smells like baby powder. So if you're sensitive to scents, this one does have a pretty strong scent. Like I said, mine smells like baby powder. I don't smell any kind of coconut with mine. Maybe that's, again, maybe it's a dud. Who knows? This is supposed to be like a highlighter portion of the bronzer. Not necessarily highlighting, like for highlighting your skin, more just kind of like for bringing out or luminosity within the bronzer. So I just wanted to clear that up as well. But anyways, so this when built up, is very pretty, but you do have to put the work in building it up. Again, unless I have a dud and mine is different, but literally, like, mine is so packed in there that I have swept my finger in here. I can't even tell you how many times. And it's literally doing nothing to the embossing on the pan of product. Like, literally, it is all staying intact. It practically looks brand new. It's like I'm rubbing my finger on, I'm not sure, plastic or something. This one's going to be very similar to the Lumi and to the Bye Bye Pores, because this one has a sheen. It has a luminosity. This is not a matte product. So again, if you are a matte bronzer type of girl, this one is absolutely not for you. So that's what that one looks like right there, and that's with me digging very, very hard into the pan of product. So definitely lighter than this one. This one, again, for the most part, compared to all of the ones on my hand right now, has taken the least amount of effort to get on my finger and onto my hand. Everything else has taken a little bit of pressing, rubbing, and again, even with the swatches, you see that that one is still the richest one out of all of them. That's not to knock all of these other bronzers, because honestly, I love trying different products, and I love these bronzers for different reasons. I do love a sheen in my bronzer. I love the healthy look it gives me, but that's just me. So if I'm in the mood for like a sheen type of bronzer, that's what I'll use. So obviously there's a reason I've kept all these, but that is the comparison on the Too Faced Natural Lust. This one is $34, so it's $4 more than the Fenty. It is 18 grams, and so it is quite a bit more of product, but this is also marketed as a face and body bronzer, so just know that as well. But, you know, takes a little bit more work. At least mine has been taking a little bit more work. Now let's get down to my two favorites aside from the Fenty. Let's go into first the Hourglass. This has been one of my favorites since the year it came out that I purchased this product. Honestly, from the time I purchased this for a very long time, there was not a bronzer that released that made my skin look as healthy as this one did. I do have both of them, but this one is in the shade Luminous Bronze Light, and you guys know Hourglass powders to be very finely milled, very healthy looking on the skin, and this one does have a, not only a sheen, but you know, when you look in an Hourglass pan of product, how you see like a super micro fine sparkle. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm totally butchering how I'm describing that, but there is some sort of luminosity, luminous sparkle to it, not any kind of glitter or anything like that. And it's got the baked veining, so you've got the bronzer along with like luminous powder, and that's, I mean, part of what helps it give you that really, really healthy look. This is what it looks like. And this is the bronzer of their two that looks less red, or has the less, you know, reddish undertones to it. This is so stunning. This is still one of my very favorite bronzers of all time. And you can see it does have like a sheen, a luminosity, a sparkly finish. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see the sparkly finish to it, but it does have that. Obviously, the Fenty does not. And you can see also the difference in tones right there. This has like a slightly orangey reddy tone, and this one does not. And I will say the Fenty bronzer that I picked up is marketed as a warm undertone, so it's nothing that I was like super surprised about. This is still one of my very favorites. I think it's absolutely stunning. It is on the pricier side. I can't remember if it was like 36 or 39. Shoot, maybe it was 50. I cannot remember. I will link it down in the description box below, so that if you're interested in looking at it, possibly picking it up, you'll know what the price tag is. But Hourglass obviously is a luxury brand, and they make absolutely amazing products. So that one is incredible. Next up is the Kylie bronzer in the shade Toasty. Now, if you guessed that this one was going to be my favorite of late, then you are absolutely right. This bronzer, I also have Tequila Tan, which I love just as much. These bronzers, I don't even know how to tell you. Like, for a matte bronzer, they make my skin look so smooth, so airbrushed, so pretty, and they add the perfect warmth to my skin that I really, really love these bronzers. And there has not been another matte that has come out until now that has really topped that. And we'll get into whether it topped it or not. So let me give you this swatch. Again, this is in the shade Toasty, so if you are my skin tone, then you will know what this looks on your skin. Now, this is it right here. It is lighter than a lot of them than you're seeing on my hand. However, it's very effortless. I don't have to go in with like pressing my finger into the pan of product. I can literally just very lightly swish, and then this is the amount of product I get. I love that it is so easily buildable. With the ones with a sheen that have the harder pan of product, you have to build, but you have to dig your brush into that pan of product. With the Kylie bronzers, you don't have to do that. They build so easy, they blend beautifully, and what I love about them that I really had not found with any other bronzer is that they make it looks like I'm not wearing bronzer on my skin. It literally looks like my skin is glowy, is warm, is just very, very healthy. So that being said, I honestly, this has been my #1 bronzer as of lately, like ever since, I can't remember, when did these come out? Maybe in February, January-ish? Ever since then, they have been my go-to bronzers. They just look so good on the skin. And for the price tag, I think this may have been $20. I think it's a really incredible value. Now, does the Fenty live up to the Hourglass and or the Kylie? So Fenty to me in a lot of things is in a class on its own. I love the blendability of this. The tone is perfect for my skin. It's kind of like the Kylie. I can build it up and it ends up looking like my skin. It doesn't look powdery. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look like I added bronzer. It looks like it's just a part of my skin. So what I'm going to tell you is that these two I feel do very, very much the same thing. Now going back to, I don't know if I can test whether it's transfer resistant. I'm not like rubbing my face on things throughout the day. So when the day is over, and I'm done with my day, this one is still very much on my skin. It looks great. Same thing with this one. I have no issues with them fading, with them looking, you know. And again, I don't know that I've really had that with the other bronzers as far as fading and transferring and all that stuff. I don't know. But as far as the buildability, blendability, these two take the cake for me. They are just so easy. They look beautiful on the skin. They melt like butter into my skin, and they are both just as matte. So this particular Kylie one has no sparkle, no luminosity, no sheen. And again, this one does not either. And these are the two that I find to be the most comparable to each other and my favorite bronzers of all time. So let me give you kind of so you can see the side by side. Obviously, this one has a little bit more of a reddish undertone, but the formula I find to be very, very, I don't know if similar, because I am sure that they are made with some different ingredients. I don't really get into a whole lot of like the ingredients side of things. Like, so if something is not working for me, then I discontinue it. But as far as getting into ingredients, I really don't. What I know is that these both feel extremely silky to the touch. They blend beautifully, they build beautifully, they last all day, they look like my skin, and I absolutely love them. So blown away is an understatement by this Fenty bronzer. I love it. I can't wait to pick up Private Island once the weather calls for it and I can get a little bit more tan on my skin. But this, guys, is such a winner. It really does do what it claims. And I think for the price, honestly, for $30, that's what you're going to pay for most bronzers. I think it's really, really, really good buy. Now, if you're looking for a less expensive alternative, 20 bucks, and this is amazing. So these two are my favorites as far as like a showdown. These two take the cake for me. This, it remains as one of my favorites. It's not like I can say I'm going to push this to the side now that the Fenty bronzer came out, but I am loving, loving, loving this too. These two are going to get quite a bit of use from me until the next one comes along that just blows my mind and makes me push these to the side. I don't foresee that happening for a very long time. All right, guys, before I let you go, let me give you the verse of the day. Today's comes from John 20:29, and it says, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this bronzer showdown. I hope it gave you enough information to make an educated decision on which bronzer is right for you, or if you're just on the fence for that Fenty bronzer, I say do it. It is awesome. They're not limited edition or anything, but Rihanna just knows how to do it right when gearing things to different skin tones, and I love that. There's a lot of people who don't know how to choose, different products because they're like, is this gonna fit my skin tone? Who knows? Especially when you order something online and you're like, I guess I'll find out when it comes in. She just knows how to do it right by putting the description out there and letting people know this is for you, and this is for you, and this is for you. It makes it a whole lot easier when trying to pick up different makeup products. All right, guys, I hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you as part of this YouTube family on this YouTube journey. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and I will see you guys very soon. Talk to you later. Bye.